So in this video, we will be building the actual CI with the help of Tekton, where we will pass the GitHub repository containing the Docker file and few other things. And the Tekton pipeline will ensure to create a Docker image out of it and push to the required uh, image registry. So I will go to the GitHub repository of mine and we will follow this particular artifact hub directories. So here, first of all, we need to create a registry secret. Basically, the uh, credentials for the particular registry where we want to push our final container image that gets built with the help of pipeline. So here some of the options are given, like how you can basically get the config.json and create a secret out of it for different registries. And then comes the PVC. So basically, this is the persistent volume claim that will be getting created as the actual artifact needs to be stored somewhere so that it can be later on pushed to the image registry. And that's the pipeline YAML. So this is the pipeline we will be creating. So in this particular pipeline, we are having certain parameters like what is the GitHub URL, the branch, the image name with which we will be pushing like either to qa.io or docker.io or any other registry. So that value needs to be passed. The Docker file path, like where exactly the Docker file is present in your GitHub repository to link into so that pipeline can like build a Docker image out of it. The context path and all. And the results provided by the pipeline run will be this like exact image URL where it will be pushed, the value of it, definitely the image digest and the git commit. And the workspace it will be using is the source and the registry auth. And if you see the task for the particular pipeline is this one, like in the task reference, if you see this is the clone repo. First of all, it will be cloning the repository, and these are the default resolver from the Tekton official documentation that you can always use. And in the parameters, for sure the URL is coming up from the parameters specified above, the git URL parameter, the branch and all, and the workspace. And the task 2 is basically building the image, so it needs to be run after the first task. So once the repository is cloned, uh, certain parameters are there again, like what needs to be done and all. So these are like, if you are wondering, like in the task reference where we are specifying like the clone needs to be pulled, where is those shell script, where are those commands in the build image task, where is the remaining commands to perform the Docker build or Podman build. So that's all coming through this default resolver. So if I show you this particular resolver URI of Tekton, so as you can see here, everything is written up, like how to pull the repository and everything. So these commands are there. And similarly, for building the image, this particular resolver is getting used. So you can go through all these data. So there are much more default resolvers provided by the Tekton out of the box to use. And then comes the pipeline run finally. So in the pipeline run, we are just providing the git URL. So we are going ahead with the particular GitHub URL. So this is just like who am I application for which the Docker file and everything is provided. So we will be using this repository to create a Docker image as it's having this Docker file as well. And the git revision is not present here, so it will use the default value. So if I open this pipeline catalog, it is empty. So empty means like default branch. So whatever the default branch for that git repo will be selected. And then the image name, like on which image registry, under which account the image should be pushed. So I will be using my docker.io account, and the image will be pushed with this particular name and text and all. And the Docker file path, like at this path, the Docker file is present in the repository. And these are the workspaces which will be getting used. So in the pipeline catalog, we specified two workspaces, source and registry auth. So these are the workspaces. So source repository is nothing but the persistent volume claim, and the registry auth is the credential for my Docker account. All right, so I think let's go to the reference guide first, and we will follow this artifact hub and real CI section. So we have already discussed all these particular YAML things. So for the secret, first of all, we need to get a config.json. So for that, what I will do, I will go to my terminal and I will do podman login docker.io, and I will provide my credentials here and then the password. So once the login is done, what we can do, we can, since I'm on a Mac machine, I can check on this path containers and auth.json. So as soon as we do podman login to any of the registry on a Mac machine, the credentials get saved into this file. And if I go inside my particular repository, artifact hub, and if I check the secret YAML, so in the secret YAML, I have clearly mentioned that we need to base64 the config.json file. So for that, what we can do, we can cat that file and base64. So this is the actual value with which we need to make the changes. So for now, what I can do, we can modify this particular file 06 registry.secret.yaml. I will go to the bottom and I will specify my base64 content here. So now if I check this YAML, so it is having my config.json in base64 encoded format. And yeah, we can follow the rest of the commands. So before that, since we are using the default Tekton resolvers and all, so we need to install this first of all from the Tekton catalog, the git-clone and the Buildah. So I will apply these commands. Okay. And verify the tasks. So you can see the Buildah and git-clone tasks are there, which can be used now. And even we can describe this to understand better. So as you can see, these are the steps, results, workspaces, and all. And now we can apply the PVC as well. So once that is applied, we can verify for the PVC. So PVC in pending state, once the pod comes up, it will be bound. So yeah, so let's create the secret first. So I have already given the command here, like you can apply your secret directly from the config.json file, or maybe from that YAML directly. So even instead of modifying that file, I can follow this particular approach as well. So this was the original file, and I can pass this file in this particular command /users /ayush. Because on this particular setup, it doesn't take the short path. It requires the absolute path. That's why I'm typing it manually. Okay, so the secret is created now, and now we can apply the pipeline catalog. So let's verify the pipeline catalog once again. So in the pipeline catalog, as you can see, it's using these resolvers and all. Okay, so let's apply this pipeline catalog. It is applied, and the pipeline run finally. It is also done. And now we can check the pipeline runs. We can pipeline run list. So this is the new pipeline run gets created, and we can check the logs of it. So as you can see, it is performing all these tasks, like successfully clone this particular repository, going into the workspace, and it will perform all those things like building the container image out of it. So it's going to take some time. And meanwhile, I can show you my Docker Hub account. So as you can see, there is no image with the name of who am I. Even if I refresh this particular page, no image is there at the moment. So we need to wait for this to complete. And all right, and we can run it in the background. And let's open it on the web browser. So under the PipelineRun section, this is the one which is running. And if we check the logs, okay, the clone repo step completed, and now the build image is also completed. Okay, that was very fast. And as you can see, it pushed the image as well. So if I check the logs from here to better understand. So yeah, so the clone repo was completed and it was building everything like the base container image used to build the Docker image. So as per that Docker file, whatever steps were there in the Docker file, those were executed. And finally, the image was checked like that. And it was pushed to the Docker Hub account of mine. And if I go to the web browser and refresh the page, so we can see the Docker image is there. So this is how actual CI pipeline can be built. Yep, and we can describe that pipeline run as well. So yeah, this was the pipeline run. So it took around 1 minute and 44 seconds to complete. And these were the parameters which were passed. And these were the workspaces and these were the results. Like this is the image URL, the digest and the git commit. So yeah, that was it for this video. Thanks a lot, everyone.